We're working. It's working.
And
hello and welcome to A Gypsy's Kiss. It's Friday Fenndango, and I'm Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Eunice. So I'm home, but we had trouble with Restream.io. They weren't sending a signal.
We were going on to Facebook,
YouTube.
but YouTube was not cooperating.
So here we are. Get ready for the rest of the night.
I don't know.
Man, it has been a
one
weird...
person watching.
One person watching.
But we have all these people in the chat room, so what's up with that?
Let me see what it says on the... Let me reset that.
Now we got 61. Wow, YouTube is having issues.
YouTube is...
First of all, they're trying to force everybody onto the new beta, which everybody dislikes big time. And now things are just not smooth and easy.
You know what? We noticed that it was set for 8 p.m. Actually, it was set for 7 p.m. like we always do, but it had it for Pacific time. So we just noticed that now. But the other weird thing about it is we were streaming to Restream.io so that we can go simultaneously to YouTube and
as we did this afternoon at 4 o'clock, and it all worked. As we did this
afternoon. So we're just having a weird series of Windows updates. We're going to have a lot of people coming in an hour. That's what you start. Yeah, I noticed. Okay. So we'll just go ahead with We'll deal with it. Okay.
Dealing with the unknown. That's what we talked about today on the softer side, dealing with the unknown and waiting.
Don't panic.
Hope you guys didn't mind waiting. And if you did,
housekeeping, you want towels?
Watch the softer
because you need and want towels, and everybody will come in later for towels. All right. So please like our video, even though it's been a kind of pain in the ass week this week.
All right. We're doing everything we can.
Like our video because
YouTube likes it.
YouTube likes it when you like your video, and the people that actually aren't here tonight like it when you like our video. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors,
people
your
who
business
are off washing
associates,
their dishes.
and the entirety of your social network, so that we can
grow the channel.
And then, last but not least, if you're not already a subscriber, regardless of the number of faux pas we've had this week, this would be an ideal time to subscribe and ring that notification bell. And that way, when we start a live stream or we correctly schedule a live stream, you will be immediately informed and
in the know,
and
instead of washing your dishes.
Instead of washing dishes or doing whatever you're doing. And then, of course, if you would like to share in the experience of helping us grow, you can always go down to the bottom of your chat screen and you'll see a stylized but grayed out $sign. Click on that and you'll be able to
Super Chat Challenge.
Join in the Super Chat Challenge. Whoever gives the most gets, I don't know what we don't.
PayPal.me at A Gypsy's Kiss also works.
That's the other thing too, is if you want to keep that 30% from YouTube that YouTube takes when you give us a Super Chat, just go to paypal.me/A Gypsy's Kiss. And you can make a donation there, and they only take like 1.5% or something like that. But yeah, that's the kind of time we're having. So we feel like we got rid of all the audio problems that we were experiencing on Wednesday, and we were doing fine. We did Shelley's show this afternoon without any issues.
Right.
Streamed to where it was supposed
to
stream.
Awesome, and you should check it out because it's still there.
And then we started this show, and we realized, holy moly, it's not going out.
Czar was there.
Hooli
was there. K-Pro was there.
Jeez, I need a drink.
Yeah. Rio de los Pinos, baby.
Wow. So we've got a pretty interesting show tonight. We've got some Gmails to read. I haven't opened up the phone lines, but we will. We've got some Gmails to read. We got a couple of text messages. We got a couple of voicemails, several from one person. Let me see. What? Well, now that's LR.
Who told you about the Forrest Fenn treasure?
Who?
He did.
I told Shelley, but how did I find out about it? So I came back here. I came back to New Mexico, not planning to retire, but did. How did I find out about the treasure?
You said you read it in that article in Horizon magazine.
Oh, that's right. Not Horizons.
No?
Hemispheres. I read about it in the Hemispheres magazine on United, and I picked it up from there, and then took an interest and started looking for the treasure. And then, coincidentally, with looking for the treasure, Fenn was having all these public events, including the Inn at Loretto, Collected Works, and Moby Dickens. And since I had all the equipment I needed to be able to record those things, I recorded them. So there we are. And I felt like I had some insight as a result of recording those events. I thought, oh, wow, I really know some stuff. But I didn't know anything. Let's see. You want to read Quinta?
Oh, are we doing emails?
As opposed to what?
Playing the email video.
Ooh,
Let's see if it works.
Yeah, this will be interesting. See, that doesn't sound like clean audio to me on here. I wonder if these guys are hearing it. Are you guys hearing okay audio?
Or is it scratchy?
Or is it scratchy or choppy or something like that? Okay, Quinta. Let me see. I've got pictures.
From first, boots on the ground.
What's on the ground?
Quinta Haberly. Good evening, Shelley, Toby, and their viewers.
You know what? You guys. I recognize that location.
Yeah.
Is she at the Rio de los Pinos?
See.
All right, screenshot. Quinta sent me some images, so let's share them with you.
All right. Minotaur says sounds good to him. And walking among lions is all good.
That's good enough for me.
K-Pro says sounds clean to me.
All right.
Okay, this is Quinta. Good evening, Shelley, Toby, and their viewers. Daddy-O and Q here. We're home safe and sound from our first boots on the ground. We traveled through all 4 search states, but only searched in New Mexico. A couple people, don't want to name names, but their initials are S and T. I think that's us.
Shobi and Tully.
Have convinced us that the treasure is in New Mexico. And after our search, we firmly believe that they are correct. Did you find it? Here are a few tidbits we would like to share from our adventure. 1, northern New Mexico is absolutely stunning, and if you haven't been, you absolutely should. 2, warm waters halt at the Colorado-New Mexico border. End of chat. 3, if Forrest didn't hide his treasure by the Toltec Gorge, he should have. It has all things Fenn and is an absolutely amazing place. Having said that, we also need to share that there is no way an 80-year-old man went into the gorge.
Agreed.
As with many of the world's most beautiful places, it is also very dangerous and hard to navigate. I don't recommend going in the gorge unless you know exactly what you're doing and have taken all necessary precautions. We hope the treasure is by the gorge, but can't wrap our brains around it being in the gorge. 4, if you have time, ride the Cumbres and Toltec train and have turkey or meatloaf lunch at Osher Station.
We strongly recommend that to everyone.
5, I say have the turkey, and Daddy-O says he asked for some of both, and they obliged. Have a few photos inside Toltec Gorge.
Okay, that's the inside Toltec Gorge right there.
So many purple and yellow flowers.
Okay, wait, we got purple and yellow flowers.
Rio de los Pinos.
Purple
Cheers,
and yellow flowers.
Shelley and Toby, here's to you. Thanks for the inspiration. Lots of love from Daddy-O and Q.
How cute is that? So those are the yellow and purple flowers. That is a view of downriver from the launch point that we see. So that's down the Rio. And then let's see, what else has she got here?
I think that was like the back of the...
Oh, there's the
2 lines to
the Osher Station. Yeah. So you get in the meatloaf line or you get in the turkey line. But that was neat that he asked whether or not he could have both. Now she sent a movie.
Yeah, they're good about that.
Can we open that? Let me see. Oh, it's downloading it. We don't want it to download it. We want to play it. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's the wrong place.
Oh, driving along the road. Oh.
Okay, so this is totally on the wrong side. Hang on. Let me see if I can get it over here.
Was that one of those little train car thingies?
Yeah. She was on the train. Okay. So that's Osher Station. So you guys, if you go there, you can get in the meatloaf line or the turkey line. They start serving lunch about 11:45 on both trains. The trains actually cross. The one coming from Antonito and the one coming from Chama both stop there at Osher Station. And just looking at the trains, they're narrow gauge and just so old-fashioned. And
Tony Rusi, we have no idea what was going on. As we said, the 4 o'clock show worked fine, and then we go to do the 7 o'clock show, and
is this delay another Microsoft update casualty? Well, Microsoft did do an update last night, but we were fine at 4 o'clock. We live stream to Shelley's channel and her Facebook page simultaneously, like we usually do, and we started here when we started at 7 o'clock. We were live streaming to Facebook because we use Restream.io. Let me go back to full screen. So we use Restream.io to stream simultaneously, and it was going to Facebook but not YouTube. So what I finally did is I went and got the YouTube stream key so that I didn't have to worry about it. So we have no rational explanation.
So we're not shooting it over to Facebook tonight, just on the YouTubes.
Yeah. Okay, so this is... Okay, so these are two. You remember last week we read an email from a woman who was headed from... It was
a couple weeks ago.
Florida. Has it been a couple of weeks? Florida to Reno or the Las Vegas area in Nevada. And she got she was required to stop in Santa Fe because she had engine troubles. Well, we got a couple of emails from her again this week kind of catching us up. And let me make sure they're in the right order.
But she did make it to Reno.
Yeah. So
spoiler alert.
Why don't you read and I'll do the pictures?
Okay.
Okay.
This is from Geneva. I made it to Reno, but I am still trying to fix my truck. See pictures.
Okay. Let's see. So that
I have the whole top end off and found the leak. Put it all back together. It still leaks. Apparently, there were 2 leaks. Guess I have to spend 3 days tearing it back down.
Okay, that's her in Reno, and that's her the RV that she bought, used. So this is the top end of the motor. So she took it all apart. Wow.
My back only allows me a few hours before crippling pain hits. Still have to go back to Texas to pick up my RV. The mechanic is awesome and only charged me $290 to fix the water pump and put power steering belt on. I already had to fix the radiator in a Chevron parking lot in Louisiana. I had to reroute the transmission lines into smaller oil cooler to lessen the load on radiator overheating. Then I got to Texas where the front driver's side tire blew up. My older daughter, mentally handicapped, was thrown across RV and got nasty bruise. I will send pictures in another email. Then, right before Amarillo is when the water pump went out. Why didn't it go out when I had the radiator out? I could have fixed it all at once. I'm nearing 50 years old and getting too old to be working on cars. I was so close to my search area, about 90 miles away. Yes, I am a New Mexico fan. Until all that bad stuff happened in Home Depot parking lot. I guess a woman with 3 kids and my elderly mother made easy targets. I had to call off the whole treasure hunt and just get to Reno. Now I sit in a hotel room because the housing here is really high. I planned on staying in my RV until I got back on my feet, but I have to find the funds to go get it. I start my job on Monday, so that should help. Hope you are all doing well and thank you for the positive comments. It made a miserable trip a little less miserable. Much love, Geneva. Toby, you pronounced it correctly the second time. Geneva. Or Ginevra.
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 So we showed those pictures, but then we got the follow-up email. So you go ahead, read, and I will show pictures again.
This is when the tire blew and sent my daughter flying across the RV. My mother that was following us in my truck said that we were feet away from flipping over. She said the right side was off the ground. I don't remember much except looking to my right and saw the pavement out my window when I turned the wheel sharply to the left and almost hit the center median. I was shaking so bad I couldn't see straight for over an hour. My brother had just enough money on his credit card to buy new tires for the front. The mechanic came to me on the side of the road to replace the tires.
That's the damage her daughter did, apparently. Let's not...
Once again, my kids never want to go on vacation again. And if I ever do go looking for treasure, it will be by myself only. It doesn't hold the same appeal anymore. For over a year, I planned this trip and have everything go wrong. The universe is telling me to stay home. Much love, Ginevra.
Well, Ginevra, we're happy to hear that you have survived that trip thus far. And should you ever find your way back to New Mexico to look for treasure, let us know, and we'll meet up with you. Come Albuquerque
Keep on
way.
trucking.
Keep on trucking.
Good luck on your new job.
Okay, so these are emails from. Let's see. Did he give me his name? So these are emails from the gentleman who wanted us to call him back. So he sent me a bunch of photos. So Toby and Shelley, I've enjoyed you allowing searchers to email and or call into their solves. After months of careful thought, I am reluctantly ready to share mine. What is your preferred way? I can email a few pictures in advance, but it would also be helpful if I could call and walk you through it while you have my location pulled up on... Oh, well, this is the email that we read last week, live on Google Earth. I think it may be one of the best straightforward interpretations of the poem yet. Your thoughts. His name is Gary Nunley. So I wrote on last week's show, I told Gary, send us the pictures and the screenshots, which it looks like he has done, and we'll call you. So my name is Gary Nunley. Thanks for reading my email on your show this evening. Per your suggestion, I am sending pictures that would assist your viewers in following the logic behind my solve. There are about 17 photos, but I promised to cover them. We gave him a time limit of 10 minutes. Otherwise, you guys start, if it gets too long, just use the super chat button and tell us. There are 17 pictures, but I promise to cover them all within your 10-minute time frame. If I can not send them all in one email, I will send them in order in 3 emails. He gives us his phone number, and he says he'd follow up with a text message. So, okay, so there are a whole bunch of emails. A whole bunch of pictures. So the first one is the one with the puppy dog. Okay, so that's Gary. We'll go to screenshot, and we're going to call him back. So Gary, here it comes. Hope you're watching because we're about to call you. So this is Gary Nunley. Make sure you guys can hear it.
Hello.
Hey, Gary, this is Toby and Shelley.
Hello, Toby and Shelley.
How are you doing?
Oklahoma.
You're in Oklahoma?
Greetings to you. I'm doing good.
Good,
I
good.
am.
Okay, so I got
pictures of me and... Go ahead.
I got all your emails with all the pictures.
And you're on the air, by the way.
You're on the air, and we have 9 minutes and 40 seconds for you to tell your story here. Okay. So you just tell me how to go through the pictures.
I'll do my best. But the first picture is who you're talking to right now. That's me with my companion and search partner, my 10-year-old lab boy.
Yeah.
He went with me on my boots on the ground, relaxing at the creek where I live in eastern Oklahoma. So you can go to the next picture.
Okay. That says, so it looks like a picture of a...
Head marker?
Is that a head marker, a headstone?
Yes.
Okay.
That I kind of came into my solve through a back door. So just quick story. Just randomly, I decided to Google at one point 49.7980 or 42.7980 because I was curious about Forrest using that comment about he carried a 42-pound chest when he was 79 or 80 years old.
Right.
And I know I kind of explained that as a rental car diversion. But I Googled that latitude, and what popped up was Cottonwood Cemetery in Sublette County, Wyoming, and I thought that was interesting. That was the first thing that popped up. And my original idea was warm water salt could be Tears, cemetery, that sort of thing. But I didn't give it much thought. But there was a little link that said other nearby cemeteries that I clicked on, and one of the cemeteries 30 miles away, it's not a cemetery, it's just a gravestone for Stella Brown. And I thought that was really interesting. It's right on Hobble Creek, where the lander cutoff of the Oregon Trail crosses right there at that point. And this is a person that I could find no history on. It's somebody that died while they were traveling that Oregon Trail back in the 1800s.
And I can't see the complete name. I can see the Brown, but what's the first name?
Stella.
Oh, is it
First name is Estella.
Oh, okay. Estella.
Which I thought was interesting because Estella means star, which could be asterisk. And, Fenn made a big deal out of cemeteries, gravestones, people dying with no memories of their lives or how it happened. They're just an asterisk in a book that was never written. So I thought that was curious.
All right. So I'm going to go to the next screenshot, and the screenshot is the Estella Brown grave marker, and it looks like you'll see this in a few seconds if you're watching, but it looks like a Google Earth.
So when I saw Estella Brown's grave, it was on Hobble Creek.
Yeah.
And this is where warm water salt comes in, and where most people will probably laugh at my salt. But Forrest described warm as comfortable at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't necessarily mean that it has to be a thermal feature. And my idea was that the key word that he referred to was halt. And one definition of halt is lame or hobbled.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of fit for me. This is maybe the home of Brown on Hobble Creek. And so I interpreted that first verse as begin it where comfortable or pleasant waters hobble, and take it in the canyon down, not far but too far to walk.
Well, what's interesting about Hobble Creek is the first three letters of Hobble Creek are the
HOB, Home of Brown.
Home of Brown.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, interesting.
Right.
So, real quick question.
I didn't take it as me take it in the canyon down. It's the creek that takes it in the canyon down, not far but too far to walk. And it's about a 10-mile long creek.
So we're in Wyoming. Are we in a forest, national park, national forest? Where are we?
I think it's public lands. You'll see this a little bit later on the next slide.
Okay. All right. So let me go down one more.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. So okay. So here's the photograph that's primary land features Porcupine Ridge.
Right. It shows, I think, where the Stella Brown's grave is in relation to Hobble Creek Campground, and the canyon between those two is a canyon with white walls on one side and Porcupine Ridge running right alongside of Hobble Creek. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was interesting because we know that he's mentioned porcupine.
So
and I remember watching a book review that you and Shelley were doing on, I think, the Totem Cafe, and she mentioned brown gravy. She said, "What could that mean?" And she said, "Could it mean brown grave? I don't know." Mm-hmm. And I thought, "Oh, could be." And the white canyons in his hands from washing dishes. This picture just kind of looked. Reminded me of that.
So in this picture,
Porcupine Ridge.
In this Google Earth picture, Hobble Creek looks more substantive than a creek. It looks like a pretty good sized river.
The Hobble Creek I saw at that point was probably 15 feet wide. Mm. But go to the next picture.
Okay. So that's that one. And it shows, it's kind of zoomed further out, Estella Brown Grave, Graham Peak, and Lake Mountain.
Right. So it shows the relationship to my home of Brown, which is Stella Brown's gravesite. And it's just a single tombstone out there all by itself, with no history to it. And it's about 6 miles from a Stella Brown grave to Hobble Creek Campground. But I interpreted put in below the Homer Brown as the first place to access Hobble Creek, which is Hobble Creek Campground, 6 miles below. So that's where I started. Begin it where warm water salt. Begin it at Hobble Creek, put in at Hobble Creek below the Homer Brown, which happens to be Hobble Creek Campground.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to the next one. All right. We're at a map now showing the various, those are Wyoming counties?
There's a little delay, so I don't see it yet.
Yeah,
but, I think I showed a picture of where Hobble Creek is in Lincoln County, and that was another word that stood out to me early on in my thinking about 2.5 years ago.
Over in this area.
The mention of Lincoln and the $5 bill that's folded up on the bottom left-hand corner. And Hobble Creek is in the bottom left-hand corner of Lincoln County, Wyoming. So that fits for me.
Right in this area here. All right.
Yeah, so if you go to the next picture.
Okay. So this is an even bigger map of the area with roads. It is that same part of Wyoming.
Right. But if you can look in that bottom left-hand corner of Wyoming, you'll see a little town called Cokeville.
Let me see.
And it's right on the border, which is another word that he's used often and people have been curious about is why border. Cokeville is right on the border of Utah. And it's the place you have to go to first to access Hobble Creek.
Oh,
The only road to Hobble Creek Campground starts in Cokeville. It's about a 30-mile drive.
So Cokeville is Cokeville in Wyoming? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Right,
so Cokeville is right there. Got it. Yeah.
Hi, honey.
Right. It says border right up above it.
Got it. So there's border and there's Cokeville. Got it.
Right. So go to the next slide.
So that's a National Wildlife Reserve. Is that green area there? That's Cokeville. Okay. So the next one is a screenshot of Fenn's map, the one that comes from the Thrill of the Chase. Oh, I'm sorry, Too Far to Walk.
And this is extremely coincidental, probably, and means nothing. But he did say there was one inadvertent clue in Too Far to Walk. And that's where you find this first time this map is shown with the poem next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he has said, try to meld the map with the poem, right?
Yeah.
Mary. Mm-hmm.
If you look at begin at where warm waters halt, Cokeville is not showing up on this map.
Right.
The Cokeville is right exactly next to that line of begin at where warm waters halt.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So that line right there, begin at where warm waters halt, takes us to that area
Cokeville
right there.
Is right there across the border.
Oh,
Cokeville.
Interesting. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Thought it was interesting. That's all.
Okay. So I'm going on to the next picture, the next photograph.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a bridge crossing a river.
Right. So that's where I parked at Hobble Creek Campground.
Okay.
And the 30-mile drive from Cokeville to Hobble Creek Campground, I didn't pass a single vehicle. When I got to the campground, there was nobody there. And my whole time searching that area, I didn't see another person. So as I have gone alone in there, really kind of made sense to me at that point because I really felt alone, except for my dog.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go to the second email.
Next picture.
And that's the one of, let me see. So it shows Lake Alice and Horse Trail.
Right. Not too far up, maybe a quarter of a mile up the trail, but after you cross that bridge, you come to that sign where you have a choice of two trails to take. The one to the right is the hiking trail to Lake Alice. The one to the left is a horse trail.
Okay.
So I took the hiking trail.
The one to Lake Alice.
Yes. It's a 1.5-mile hike. And I didn't think that the treasure could possibly be 1.5 miles back. I didn't think he would go that far. So
Yeah.
I was basically looking for a blaze in that first half mile or so of hiking.
Okay. So then I'm going to go to the next picture.
So right.
Oh, another stream, rock stream. What
Is it rock or is it wood?
Is that rock or wood? It looks like shale, like a...
Yeah, it's one of the only things I could think of to look for as a blaze would be something that's sustainable, like rock.
Yeah.
And this is just a rock slide that had an interesting area at the bottom of it. If it was the blaze, look quickly down at the bottom of it, there was a spot where it looked like some rocks had been placed that I moved, and there was a hole behind it, in the logs, which could have been you're braving in the wood, I thought, and this could be it.
There.
So I removed those rocks and looked in that hole, and there was nothing there, which I was disappointed.
Nothing there.
Point, I decided,
nothing there because you didn't find the treasure, or nothing there because somebody beat you to it?
Well, I think it's because I didn't find the treasure.
Okay, good.
But it looked like a potential place. That blaze has been, that rock slide's been there for a long, long time.
Yeah. Okay, so now then
go to the next picture.
Birth of a lake.
So basically, I decided at that point, well, I'm going to just go ahead and hike on up to the lake. And what's interesting about Lake Alice, that sign there shows the formation of the birth of the lake. Lake Alice was formed by a landslide when Lake Mountain, the side of it collapsed several thousand years ago. I don't know what. And it formed a natural dam.
Mm-hmm.
And it formed a natural dam of Poker Creek, of all things, and formed Lake Alice. So go to the next picture.
Wait, I want to hear the end of the story. So it's named, I'm going to read this. Legend has it that the lake was named after a girl who drowned here in the early 1900s. But if you continue down, so that sign was placed by Trout Unlimited. And it says, today Lake Alice is the home of the only known pure lake
cutthroat
drain of Bonneville cutthroat strain, lake cutthroat. Strain of Bonneville cutthroat trout. Enjoy this unique lake with picnic sites just ahead. And the last line, unfortunately, is not readable. Can you read any of that?
No, it just ends with up the trail.
Up the trail.
But here's what's interesting about Lake Alice.
Can you fish for the cutthroats in Lake Alice?
Yeah. It's fairly well. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of people go there. Obviously, when I hiked there wasn't a soul at the lake, not a soul on the trail, not a soul at the campsite. But I thought it was interesting just because Forrest has quoted the poem from Alice in Wonderland. Mm-hmm. I always kind of wondered the purpose in that. So if you look at the next part, that's an aerial shot of Lake Alice.
Okay.
To me, without a whole lot of imagination, if I had to say what does that look like, it kind of looks like an alligator or a crocodile.
Taking a big bite out of something?
I don't know what that. Well, in the poem that he uses from Alice in Wonderland, it's about the crocodile.
Right.
So again, I thought that was interesting and a coincidence.
All right, going to the next slide.
The next slide.
Poker Creek.
Picture. Yeah, it just shows that Poker Creek, and again, we've always wondered, does poker have any significance, because he uses that early on in the book.
Yeah.
But it was Poker Creek that was dammed up, that formed the lake, and then the water runs underground for 1.5 miles and pops back up about a half a mile or so, a third of a mile before it surfaces as Spring Lake Creek and runs into Hobble Creek.
So,
so my heavy loads and water highs, pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Heavy loads is the landslide that occurred several thousand years ago, and the water high would be Lake Alice.
Right.
But again, I think that was just pointing me in the right direction. It wasn't, I didn't really think that the treasure would be at Lake Alice, because it's just a little too far to be making a hike twice in one afternoon.
All right, so the next picture is of your
my lab boy,
Yeah.
we decided on our hike back, instead of taking the hiking trail, we took the horse trail. And as I was getting relatively close to the campsite or the campground, I heard water again and walked off the trail to this little spot and looked at it and looked over the edge and realized I'm just standing on the end of the landslide. This is the end of the landslide right here. And the next picture shows
Hang on, let
me
me go
just taking a picture.
Oh, looking down to the landslide.
Right. And that just shows you where the natural dam ends and the creek water surfaces back up as Spring Lake Creek. And so, again, I thought it was kind of interesting in terms of beginning and the end. It's where the landslide ends, this creek begins. I got to thinking about the horse trail. You said it's not in close proximity to a human trail, but it would have been within probably 100 or 200 feet of the horse trail that I was hiking along. And I didn't give this any thought. Basically, at the time, I just took some pictures and didn't search there. I just went back to my car and went back to the motel. It wasn't until the next day when I left, I was almost to Santa Fe, whenever it just kind of hit me, the end is ever drawing nigh. You know, maybe he means the end is a literal place that I was standing on the end. And that was the blaze, and that landslide at the end of the landslide going down there. The picture that I took could have been the blaze. And to look quickly down to where that creek comes out, you know, could have been the area that the treasure was hidden. And that just shows that it's within walking distance of the campground.
Yeah,
where he could have
about a third of a mile.
A third of a mile.
Right.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So,
but the horse trail is relatively steep, so it could be no place for the meek. I've done it tired and now I'm weak, because it's fairly steep horse trail.
So what's this this map that shows? It looks like from the Canadian border to your area, your search area. Right.
So the decision I had to make when I got to Santa Fe is like, what if I was standing there at the blaze and didn't even bother to look for the treasure? You know, I didn't recognize it as the blaze at the time. It was kind of an afterthought about the end is ever drawing nigh. And the part of the poem about listening good, and Forrest posting at one point, "Are you listening?" and people commenting to that post, "Yes, Forrest, I'm listening." Well, the reason I walked over there to that spot at the end is because I could hear water again.
Yeah.
So listening made sense to me at that point. But I didn't go back, and I'm not going back. What I did do is talk to some people at the hotel that I stayed in that had one had never heard of the search, the other had heard but didn't ever know of any searchers in the area. And so I just kind of told them what I knew and said, you know, I wish you luck, and kind of made some kind of a little agreement with them that they went out and found it based on my solve,
right,
work something out. And that's kind of where I left it. But another just coincidental, interesting fact about this is I just drew a line on Google Earth from Santa Fe to the top northwest corner of Montana, which would be just across the search area of the Rockies.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
From my place there in the middle, which is that spot that the landslide ends, it was 524 miles to the top corner of Montana. And if you look at the total distance back to Santa Fe, it's almost exactly halfway to the mile, almost,
right,
within a couple of miles. So I thought that was just interesting. And another interesting fact is that I thought I showed this in a picture, but if you looked at the whole line from the top of Montana there all the way to Santa Fe, the line runs directly, within 3 miles of that spot that I marked as the blaze.
Wow.
So I thought that's pretty coincidental too, or interesting. Probably means nothing, but what are the odds of drawing a line straight across the search area from Santa Fe to the top of the Rockies?
And it crosses your search
Montana,
area, huh?
And it crosses within 3 miles
so
of the search area.
A quick question before we finish for the night. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for all that detail. We appreciate it. We went well beyond our 10-minute limit, but that's okay because that's not your fault. I could have cut you off anytime I wanted, but we wanted to hear your story. And then, so the big question for me is, when are you going back?
I don't think I am. That's why I'm doing this reluctantly, but I'm just kind of ready for somebody to find the treasure, to tell you the truth. And I don't think I'm going back. I would just like, if somebody finds any value in this solution, to let them give it thought, maybe develop it a bit more and look for themselves. But I just want it to be found, like some other searchers. I'd love to have been the one to find it.
Yeah.
But I just don't think I'm going back.
Yeah. No, I think there are a lot of people that, come to visit us in our chat room. And I think there's a lot of people that regardless of who finds it, they would just like to have it found. And I think even better, they'd probably like that people would share the location or the state in which they found it. But I just don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but that's me.
Well, it's interesting, again, because of his emphasis on a gravestone in the book. It's one of the most significant parts of the story. And it's the Stella Brown gravestone with the star, the asterisk. It's definitely the last home of Pat Brown.
Yeah.
And Porcupine Ridge and Poker Creek and Lake Alice and all those things just...
Well,
really coincidental or pretty interesting.
I think what I can say about the solution is you've put a lot of thought into it. You made a lot of really intriguing connections, and I can appreciate the effort that you put into it. I'm sorry that the treasure wasn't there when you got there, but I can tell...
I didn't look in the right spot.
Well, I can tell you put the effort into it, and you went looking, and... you don't sound upset or frustrated. You sound like, okay, I did what I felt like I needed to do, and boy, and I went and looked for the treasure, and it wasn't there, so I can go on with the rest of my life.
Right. I'm in a pretty place right now every day where I live, and I just retired 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And so I don't need much, but just thought it was interesting knowing that if my Will Walmart's halt is wrong, the whole thing is wrong, obviously.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty different interpretation, with halt being hobble. It's just a completely different take on what most people are thinking.
Well, some people say different. I say original. So, it's an original solution. And that kind of thinking is what we're going to need to finally solve this.
I think so, because there's a lot of other thoughts about thermal features, and there's thousands to choose from. There's only one Hobble Creek in the search area.
Yeah, yeah. So. All right, sir. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Toby and Shelley. I appreciate you letting me take the time to do this.
Thank you for putting the time into it to provide us with all that information and share it with the community. We appreciate the effort, and I'm sure others do as well.
I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All righty. A lot of people said that was interesting.
What a kind...
They didn't already have a search site. They would surely look there. And LR said, let's put a group together and go up there.
Let's go up there and finish this off.
I saw a super chat. I'm trying to find it again. It was back here a ways.
Why don't you say hi to the room? Because that was the last of our emails.
So, I don't know where it went. It may have disappeared. I think it was Odin, and he was buying me a margarita.
Oh, I can go make you one. Would you like me to go make one? While you're
I
reading?
have wine.
Oh.
But thanks anyway. So I thought Estrella was star. Estella is just a woman's name, but I could be wrong.
Well, it sounds like an extrapolation, right? If you didn't say Estrella in Spanish is star. And I have known women in my life whose name was Estrella.
Mm-hmm.
But if you anglicized it, you might,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not going to open up anything with Chrome right now.
Okay. Well, let's go back. I've got 728. So how's that sound for you?
I don't think I go back that far. Hang on, let me check. I've got 726. So.
All right. Well, let's just get started. So you're going to play our hello video?
I am going to play our hello video.
I got sunshine on a cloudy day.
All right, go for it.
All right. Czar 334. Wayne Ross, K-Pro, Texas Ad. Texas Shad. I'm not sure
We
how to
still
say
haven't
that.
figured that out. Texas, it looks like
We're going to go with Texas Shad.
H Sad.
Yeah. Okay. DB Cooper, Mark Darling. It's a doggaroo. Hooley, Tony Rusi, Minotaur Marino, Matt.
What Texas says. Someone told me that Trump was the chosen one. Yeah, I think he knows where the box is. Actually, I think he either tweeted that or did it in one of his helicopter speeches.
Okay. William
Chosen one.
M. Healy. M. Healy was in our room today on the softer side. It was nice to see you there, Mike.
Is it Mike?
Yeah, that's what he said in the chat room.
So Sassy says Estella is Latin and medieval Spanish for star.
Okay. Michael Melton. Mark Darling.
that's
Evan
huge.
Penn. Tom Sawyer. I forgot, what is the asterisk theory again? There's an asterisk at the end of
Minotaur knows what the ask
the
Minotaur.
first chapter or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. K-Pro, Alan K, Shelley Rybacki. William Sparks. Did I say Tony Rusi?
You did.
Minotaur. Jack. Kevin was here for a minute.
And then back to work.
Probably. Jack. Wayne Ross. Wayne Ross said hello to Kevin. 23 Monarca.
We're going through the Tetons on our trip in September.
The Sassy.
Yeah, the Sassy.
Davio. Quanah Parker. Sakar.
And all the
Cody Rimmer.
all-time Cody Rimmer, Gary says people pass every day, though.
Karen R. Very important in regard to Estella Brown gravesite. You have Travis Creek and Poker Creek. Travis Creek means intersecting, crossing. And of course we know
So Kevin
Ben wrote a poem about poker.
Karen apparently knows this solution. This isn't the first. So Karen must be working that solution as well, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Czar says this guy's nailing it. K-Pro says she's ready to spill the beans tonight.
More beans.
Short drive for...
LR, let's go fishing.
Okay, so we're going to have to call... Christy, if you want me to call you, just send me a text message so that we can give you a call. So
Zozo rocks.
spill
Hello, Toby and
Zozo.
Shelley. Copper Dan.
Zozo came to the show about 10 minutes.
AJ
Wow.
Greenville. What do we get, another super chat?
Not just a super chat. Look at that.
$20 from William Hada. Viva Rio de los Pinos.
Rio de los Pinos. Que viva los Rios de los Pinos.
The Velarde Riesling from Velarde, New Mexico.
This is one of the bottles of wine that Michael brought to the party last week.
Actually, he brought it to a different party, but we still had saved it and we served it at this party.
Oh, is that the last time he was here?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we've saved it that long?
Yeah.
We are very patient people, apparently.
You can't drink all the wine.
So who was that from? That was from William?
Yeah. Yes, William Hotta.
Thank you, William. That was very thoughtful and kind.
Jack, Michael Melton. Michael Melton is the walrus. Alan Kay, Copper Dan.
Hush Whispers in the room.
Evan Penn. I think Odin had a couple of questions. Did you see them? He wanted to know something about something in New Mexico.
Hang on, let me... you just go down yours, and I'll look for his questions on my side over here, so that we don't have any dead air. Okay, here it is. Odin, a Gypsy Kiss. Being in New Mexico, have you ever considered... Oh, dang, nabbit, it moved up. Considered Alamo Creek by Dead Dog Well. I'm in Ireland, and my solve ends me there, heavy loads and waters high, aqueduct, and the eastern wood.
He says something a little further down as well.
Odin, I have never heard of any of those places in New Mexico. I'm sorry.
He says, if you are brave and in the wood, Ortiz Mountain means brave, strong, I believe just west of Alamo Creek.
I don't even know where Alamo Creek is. Where is Alamo Creek?
Apparently just east of Ortiz Mountain.
Alamo Creek here.
Texas James, what makes Alice Lake area Fenn's special place? Don't know, but then he said we wouldn't know. Da Bear. Tom Gregory. Cleveland is home of Brown football and Colorado. Hey, Brad and Sarah Kinzer.
So I'm looking at Alamo Creek.
Say hi to Brad and Sarah Kinzer.
Hi, Brad and Sarah. Did we reply to their email?
I did.
Oh, good.
Because I'm awesome like that.
So our Irish friend who is looking at Alamo Creek, it looks
Grizzly
like
bear.
That area is south of Santa Fe. So you would have to believe that when...
Britt Chaser.
So you would have to believe that when Fenn said it's in the mountains north of Santa Fe, he was actually telling us a fib and he hid it in the mountains. Or it's not actually the mountains. And actually that area, except for La Cienega, is right there. Those are tribal lands. Right past that 85, crossing 85. There's Las Golondrinas, El Rancho de las Golondrinas. That was donated. That property was donated by my great
Los Ranchos de los Golondrinas. Every time we speak Spanish, we got to drink now.
So Odin, your solution puts you south of the city of Santa Fe. Fenn said the treasure's in the mountains north of Santa Fe.
Joel Lewicki. Family and I are camping at beautiful Badlands National Park on our way to Boots on the Ground. Everyone having a great time. If you guys have not been to the Badlands, it is so interesting. It looks like another planet. It is just a really interesting landscape. It looks like Mars or something. It's really crazy.
In New Mexico, the New Mexico Badlands?
South Dakota.
Oh, South Dakota.
Yeah.
Why are they in South Dakota? They vacationing in South Dakota?
That's what we said.
Oh.
Camping.
So LR says, a Gypsy's Kiss, let's plan a fishing search trip to Lake Alice. I would just like to go to Lake Alice to take on some of those native cutthroat that are there.
Says Alice. They're changing the guard.
They're probably catch and release, but if it's being taken care of by Trout Unlimited, that means those trout.
Who is buried in Cleveland but has his monument in the Rocky Mountains? Grover Cleveland?
No. Yeah.
Huh?
Well, he does have a monument.
I don't know. It's Cleveland, right?
Is that Tom Gregory?
Cleveland rocks.
Is that Tom Gregory?
I don't know. You just passed it. Just passed it. It's got my name on it. So.
Tom. Wait, I just. Ugh. So Tom is the guy that has the solution area that we have, but it's up the ridge near the train.
Yeah. Oh,
thing.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Remember him?
Britt Chaser, drink that Guinness.
You know what? Britt, that Jono,
You know, if I wasn't allergic to beer, I'd be all over it.
that Guinness is going to be here when you going to be there when you get here next year. Because neither one of us drink beer.
Well, maybe K-Pro will stop by and help us with it.
I keep buying beer for our parties, and
You
literally
gotta stop doing that.
we're at the point we've got to stop buying beer because I have
Because nobody drinks it.
nobody drinks the beer, and I have every possible
We have to
brand
have
you can
a
imagine,
college party or
including the
something.
Guinness that you brought for last party. That was a lot of fun.
Britt Chaser's in New York until the 28th.
Did you get to Antonio's? They wanted a pizza place.
Brad and Sarah, I'm looking forward to that hot spring soak. Tell you what. Karen R. says, check out page 21, Thrill of the Chase. There's drawing of Fenn looking back at people. 2 opposing male figures wearing bandoliers on their chests. Compare the bandoliers' shape with Lake Alice.
2 bandoleros and 2 big pistolas. Have I ever told you my Pancho Villa joke?
Yes.
Oh. He was wearing 2 bandoleros and he carried 2 big pistolas, a big sombrero.
The Bear says, Odin, the Irishman, Google Dead Dog Well that is north of Santa Fe. That's what the Bear says.
Oh, Dead Dog Well. Let's see. Dead Dog Well, New Mexico.
John Lauro.
Okay, so Dead Dog Well is up 77. Oh, wow. It's barely north of Santa Fe. So the property that Dead Dog Well is on doesn't look like public lands. It looks like private land.
You'd make a good cartoon character, Toby. What that's about.
Sombrero.
Oh, yeah.
He was wearing a big sombrero and 2 bandoleros and 2 big pistolas.
Know him? We had lunch together.
Hey, does somebody else know that my joke?
You've told it to me like 3 times
Oh.
at least.
At least.
At least.
At least that's my Pancho
At
Villa.
least. So yeah. Oh, John Lauro says, I hope the 2 of you drink every time you say Fenn. I'd like to see
Oh
a
my
gypsy
God,
getting
yeah.
tipsy.
Yeah, gypsies would get tipsies every time we say Fenn.
Then it'd have
Did
to
anybody go to
have a nap before I go home.
Did anybody in the room go to the party at the La Fonda last night?
Well, I don't see Cindy in the room. Maybe she's still
maybe
there.
she's still partying with Michael, with
Michael
Miguel.
Miguel. Oh, you spoke Spanish again.
Oh, jeez. Killing me here. That's good white wine. It's very. Are you still hog in the pillows, K-Pro? I don't know what that means. That sounds
Hogging. Sassy says, on my map, it is just right on the inside of the borderline of the National Monument.
Yeah.
Wayne Ross, that marker is viewed by everyone in the train. It slows down for that going both ways.
That's the Grover Cleveland marker.
Oh.
Well, badges. We don't need no stinking badges.
Tony Russi says, happy birthday, Forrest.
Oh, good point. Former happy. That's
Happy
that was yesterday
birthday
actually.
to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Forrest.
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you. There we go.
So Colorado Brad O says, well, it says
Brad.
Colo
I know
Brad.
his name is Brad.
Is that Brad Kinzer?
Yes.
Oh, what white wine do you have? What white wine do you indulge?
Right now we're drinking the Blvd Riesling from Blvd, New Mexico, but we like pretty
Black
much
Mesa.
most every wine, especially white.
Shelley likes Sauvignon Blanc,
I do. That's the best. But
especially if it's in
I like to try
Australia or
everything.
New Zealand.
Colorado makes good wines too.
I'm partial to anything from Argentina, red. So, but don't go out of your way.
Oh, Angel Blush. Or whatever. You know, there's
Jimmy
a bunch
Fire Eagle says,
bunch
please
of,
read my last 2 posts. Oh, good. Got to go back up here.
Jimmy Fire Eagle. Please read my last 2 posts. Oh.
Sounds like a Native American
Sing
name.
it, Shelley. As I did.
As she did. Oh, gosh. Jimmy, do them again because they're too far up.
We can't find them, Jimmy.
We can't find them.
Try again.
All right. Are
this
we ready
time, make
for
sure you go
text messages?
at a Gypsy's Kiss and then
so we can see it.
Paste the ones that you already put.
Text time. So if you're sending us a text, make sure, and you can call and leave a voicemail up until I open the phone lines. But if you're sending us a text, make sure you include at least your first name and the state from which you are calling.
So we gotta get Odin says, Dead Dog Well in Alamo Creek is 16 kilometers north of Santa Fe. Ortiz Mountain is 20 kilometers as the crow flies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that area north of Santa Fe up until you get into the Carson National Forest, there's a whole bunch of private and tribal land there. You got to be careful there. So this is from area code, it's from Sherry in Pennsylvania, not Sherry.
We've
Sherry.
met her at Fenndango.
Hi, Toby and Shelley. What do you think the blaze could be in light of Forrest saying he doesn't think it faces north, south, east, or west? Okay, so let me address the north, south, east, or west. When he was asked that question, the woman asked him which direction was it facing. She established the criteria. Was it facing north, south, east, or west? Fenn said, I don't think it was facing any of those directions. And the problem is that of the 360 possible directions she could have stated, she stated 4 of them. So there are 356 other options in which the blaze could be pointing, if indeed it was pointing any direction at all. In our case, since we believe that the blaze was a solar event, it doesn't point. It simply magically appears in the special in the special place. But yeah, don't take that north, south, east, or west because he answered it. She gave him 4 directions. There's 360 directions. Well, there are at least 360 directions in the compass. She gave him 4 of them.
So we have Stone Man in the room and Tasty Pizza King. Tasty Pizza King Ryan. I did send you an email. I don't know if you saw it from the softer side. So I hope you'll check that out. And thank you for filling out my survey. If any of you still want to fill out my survey, just go to my show from earlier today, and the link is in the description box on the softer side video.
So this is from area code 210, no name, no location. Darn, I was waiting for that guy. When was that? Oh, this was Wednesday. I was waiting for that guy to stop rambling to call. LOL. Is it knowledge Fenn's plane had a shamrock on the nose?
What?
Does somebody know whether or not, I'm going to translate here. Does somebody know whether Fenn's aircraft had a shamrock painted on the nose? No?
I never saw one.
And I guess you have to ask yourself which plane, the ones that he flew in V8 NAM or
V8 NAM?
His personal plane.
V8? Should have had a V8.
Oh, geez.
Test Sarah and we will plan a night. Test Sarah. Test her on what? What are we testing Sarah on?
Who's that from?
Brad.
Oh. Who's the Blaze? Wow, look at these names. Shiny Blackwall, that's a new name. DB Cooper's not. K-Pro.
No, I think Shiny Black Wall.
Yeah.
I've seen it once or twice. I think it refers to the Vietnam Memorial, but I'm not sure.
In Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Because it is definitely a shiny black wall.
Yeah. Who is the Blaze?
So I have got a voicemail here.
Is Fenn Irish? Fenn is American. We don't know if he's got Irish descent, do we?
Not that I'm aware
Old
of.
Okie Poke. That's a fun name. Old Okie Poke.
Sarah, hashtag excited.
That's the one who sent the Hobble Creek Solve. I realize where Pleasant Waters hobble is very different interpretation of where Warm Waters halt. My HOB seems to fit extremely well.
Is that the gentleman that we just spoke to?
Yeah.
Old Okey Poke?
Yeah.
Okay. Got a voicemail here. Long voicemail. Ready?
Okay.
Wow.
Man Alone has been talking some serious stuff lately. He says he's giving the solution to the poem on the 30th. No one has said a peep.
Well, he's going to be on our show on the 30th. We're going to Zoom him in.
Oh, Colorado texted us. Okay.
Voicemail.
Hello, my name is Scott Williams. My phone number is 54.
Oh. We get so excited. Oh.
I live in Medford, Oregon. I was just down in New Mexico. I've been doing it for 8 years now. And I know where the blaze is. I am to the blaze. That's it. And the rest is there. I was there. I don't want to get it because I kind of feel that there's going to be a lot of really upset treasure hunters. And I have a family of 6 and my wife. And so I don't want my life to be jeopardized and people to get mad and want to hunt me down. So I would rather have somebody else go get it, and I will show them exactly where it's at. And I've already emailed Forrest Fenn and told him he's not responding because he doesn't respond to me because I'm the closest. I can tell you that because I can put out a whole map and tell you every single clue and what it means. But I do need somebody to go get it. And I will be willing to split half, 50-50. All you got to do is go to the blaze, and then after that, you find it. I don't have the time. I was down there before. I only had 4 hours to go, and when I found the blaze, it was too late. So I would really like you guys to walk in there and get it. And you can broadcast it, and you can say somebody else, another treasure hunter, gave you the clues, except for the last one. I'll go up to the blaze. I can give you the blaze. And that's it. It's up to you. And it's pretty easy, pretty close. It's just I was on the wrong side. So it's on the actually other side of the blaze. So anyways, give me a call. Probably tomorrow will be best. My name is Scott Williams, and I'm dead serious. I'm not joking with you guys. And don't put this on the broadcast, please. If you guys were to find it, that would be a big thing, and that would be on your program, and I think that'd be great. I believe in sharing. I don't believe in taking it all yourself. And when I was down there last time, I really felt that way. So I need to share it with somebody else, and I'd love to share it with you guys if you...
Oops. He used up the 2 minutes.
Shelley, love the beautiful necklaces you wear. Toby does kind of look like Pancho Villa. From Karen R. Karen, this one is actually one of the ones that Scott gave us.
Oh, at Fennbury?
Yeah.
All right. So let me continue because this is a second voicemail.
But he said not to share it. Now we shared
It's
the whole
too
thing.
late. We already shared it
Too
one
late.
time. Too late.
Everybody's saying,
If you're
rooster,
gonna- if you
rooster,
don't-
rooster.
If you don't want us to share your emails or your voicemails, say it at the beginning of the voicemail, not at the end. Okay. Second one.
Sorry, you cut me off.
I didn't cut him off. You
only
used up
get
the
2
2 minutes.
Sorry, you cut me off. It only took me 2 minutes. I'm sorry, but this is Scott Williams again, and I just want to say thank you. And if you are interested in doing this, you stay in New Mexico. So it's pretty simple. Anyways, I will show you exactly what it is when you call me back. I'll have you on speaker, and we will record it because I keep myself to where I'm safe. And I do trust you guys because you guys are on YouTube a lot and you're trying to help people help find it. But if you guys would go get it, I'd be willing to give it to you, and we'll just split it 50-50. Auction would be the best, I would think, and I just be better with 2 people, 2 treasure hunters finding it than just one. So, anyways, call me back 54.
All righty.
Wait. That's not finished. I'm just...
Call me tomorrow if you'd like to. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Okay. Everybody wants to see the rooster video.
I think that's...
Looks so weird. They look like they need arms, and they don't have any arms.
They do have arms.
Well, they don't, because they're all like this, and they're like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr." They need like little arm, like little pterodactyl arms, or not pterodactyl.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
T-Rex arms, yeah.
Okay, so was the gentleman's name Scott?
Scott, yeah.
Scott, we are not looking for the treasure.
Hey,
but
I'm saying if he gives us exact coordinates, exact geographical coordinates, let's do her.
You're welcome to go. But
we could do it on our trip up north.
Maybe our trip up
on the way
north.
back. So Odin said that Fenn is not an Irish name. The closest would be Flynn.
Okay, so we got no transcript. And
Admin Ghost Dance Radio.
So this is from Justin in
KJ.
Dallas. He says, I remember agreeing with your distance from Warm Waters Halt to the treasure. Can you go over that again? We believe, Justin, that the distance between where Warm Waters Halt and the location of the treasure is something under 1,000 feet. And we do that based on the fact that after that it gets crazy. And secondly, that's the first thing. Secondly, he had to walk, and he walked 4 times. So if you make it 1,000 feet, that's 4,000 feet in walking, almost a mile in an afternoon. So, yeah.
KJ and Tamerlam. And KJ says, pay half the expenses. I agree. If we don't find the treasure, you should have to pay half our expenses.
Well,
right?
and that's kind of the problem is we get a lot of requests, people looking for treasure, and nobody ever says, I'll pay your travel expenses.
Yeah. Well, if it's in New Mexico, at least the gas.
Time. It takes time. You could use a whole day.
That's true.
That's why I'm an old man. I don't have a lot of days left. I want money for the ones that I have. I want money. If you can't give me money for my day, then...
you've got at least 20 years left.
You think?
Oh, at least.
20?
20.
That's going to make me 90.
70. Yeah.
What's
wrong with living to 90? Your mom lived to how old?
95.
Okay. I'm saying. You outlived all your brothers and sisters at this point, so why not?
Yeah, but my dad died at 53.
Yeah, he died in a plane crash. You were in a helicopter
That's not
crash,
funny. I'm sorry.
and you did not die.
Okay, that's good.
So that one's done.
Okay, I don't know. I was going to suggest if anybody wants to go for this gentleman on his behalf, send me an email and I'll forward it to him. But we're not looking for the treasure right now. And until we're ready to look for it again, tell him, Shelley.
That's right.
All right.
I tell him. I tell him all the time.
I think
on behalf of me and his daughters.
Oh, my daughters
he
want
has
me
to live forever.
Yeah. I think my daughters want me to outlive them.
Well, I'm telling you, if you had how many chances
to die,
to walk through the door of death, and you just said, nah. So you're stuck here now.
Well, the whole time I was thinking, I've got to do that YouTube channel with Shelley.
That's right.
At age 70.
That's right.
Okay.
Another 20 years, and we're going to get to 100,000 subscribers. I just know it.
We'll be doing, hey, look, Shell, we got another super chat. We'll be able to buy some new support hose.
Of course, by then I'll be 75.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, think about it. You don't want to be 20 years
cute.
from now. Doing
cute
20 years
little
from
old
now,
people.
20 years from now, still doing a Gypsy's Kiss. So, what are we going to drink tonight, Shell?
Milk of magnesia.
Metamucil. Rio de los Pinos.
Oh, LR wants to know, did your daughter get voted in? Did she win her competition?
Oh, I don't know.
Voted for her on.
I don't know. I haven't spoken with her. She had a very busy weekend. Was that decision made, LR? Because I just haven't talked to her. I'm seeing her tomorrow. We're having a birthday party for one of my grandsons. So I'll see her tomorrow and see how it went. It was tough because she was up against a couple of large corporations. Colorado. Brad says, we'll follow you.
One of the Koch brothers died, really? Is that real? Grizzly Bear said.
Well, they were
one of the Koch brothers died at 79.
They were, getting up there, both of them. That's interesting news. David Koch, billionaire conservative activist and philanthropist, dies at age 79 indeed.
Wow. Interesting news. Thanks for sharing, Grizzly.
Thanks, Grizzly. We try not to bring politics into the
Yeah,
room,
but it's just somebody
just
in
news.
the world that
Right.
everybody knows or has heard of.
All right, phone lines are open, 866-597-9901. The phone lines are open, 866-597-9901. Call us and tell us what you think about the search or anything that the gentleman, or if you want to get in contact with, what's his name? I forgot his name now. With
Thinking Chavalos Dinner Pagosa. Chavalos?
Chavalos.
I
Los
haven't
Chavalos.
heard of it. Have not heard of it.
Los Chavalos.
Or if I have, I'm not recalling it.
597-9901. Phone lines are open. Call us, and we have we have 35 minutes worth of open phone lines tonight. How about a toast for Coca-Cola?
Phone call. We didn't play the hello phone calls.
Oh, okay. I will just a minute. Let me do this call first.
Sure.
Hey, you've reached Toby and Shelley. We haven't played the phone call video, but that's okay. Tell us what your name is, where you're calling from, and what are your thoughts on the matter of the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt.
How you doing? How you doing tonight?
Very good, thank you. And you?
I'm doing fantastic. Fantastic. Just
We're happy
a
to hear that.
Friday evening.
Yeah.
A Friday evening, having a few drinks and just hanging out.
Well, sounds like the perfect Friday evening to us.
You know, it's very interesting talking to you guys on the phone because I've watched you a number of times.
Yeah.
And now that I'm talking to you on the phone, you know, it's like one of those reality shows. It kind of feels like you kind of know someone, but you don't really know them. You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah.
we try to make ourselves pretty transparent.
We're authentic.
We're authentic. We don't have anything to hide
Well.
anymore.
Yeah, what's interesting is that I live on the East Coast, and I feel like, for whatever it's worth, is that people out here don't really know as much about it on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do you find that?
I think I would agree. Yeah, I think outside the Rocky Mountains, there are people that do. We know people, and we get calls from North Carolina and Florida. We rarely. It's funny that you mentioned though, because I think we've probably had one caller from the northeastern states. You know, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island.
Oh, we have two moderators from New York.
So I live right in New York City. I live right in the middle of the city.
Joey
like I could basically look out. If I could stick my head out my window without the window guards, I could see Times Square.
Nice. Wow. Great
Wow.
location. That's an expensive location.
It's not cheap, but I love the Forrest Fenn treasure, and I'm very into it. And I've been searching for a couple years.
Yeah.
And I've been boots on the ground only once. But you know, you gotta really focus these things and focus these searches and really go out dedicated, especially when you're coming from this far.
And do you mind sharing what state you went boots on the ground in?
I don't mind. I went to Colorado.
Oh, nice. Colorado's
Beautiful
a
there.
beautiful state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm probably 75% sure it's in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of things that kind of lead you to Colorado that people don't realize, and you know, plus you just got to do your research and figure things out, as you know. But you know, I've always found it interesting that the public relations person in the first book was from Colorado, and yeah, I don't know if that's a coincidence or a connection that I'm making, but yeah, something I've always found interesting. But you guys have been looking on the border of Colorado and New Mexico for a long time, so it's not, you know, whether it's 100 feet this way or 100 feet that way. How do you know, right?
Well, so let me qualify that. We've only been looking south of the Colorado and New Mexico border into New Mexico, and we've only been doing that a couple of years now.
Not even that long.
No, well, 2008. That's right. So we
year.
moved to that area in 2018.
Yeah.
So that has been our search area of choice for about a year now.
Got it. Yeah. Well, you know what? I feel like giving you a tidbit of information tonight. How about that?
Well, you've got to remember, you're not just giving it to us. You're giving it to the
World
181 other people in the room right now.
and the world.
And then
I love it. I'm not going to give them everything tonight because I thought about giving them all my information because I'm a good researcher.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Call me the researcher. I'm a very good researcher. And
Jerry?
I've researched extensively about a number of areas.
Okay.
And people can call them rabbit holes. People can call them various things, but I'm not talking about rabbit holes.
Okay.
And I'm just going to give people one little tidbit is that I think there's a lot of information out there that people haven't found yet that will help them potentially solve this puzzle. And I'm not going to share that with you tonight, exactly what it is. I've actually thought about sharing it with the whole community, but I've just decided not to.
Well, let me interrupt for just a second, just to make sure I understand what you're saying. What you're suggesting, and you're not sharing the details, but you're suggesting there's a lot of information out there that searchers are not taking advantage of?
Yes.
Could you give me an example of a lot of that? One example of that lot of information.
No, I only have one piece of information which I'm thinking of. So if I told you what that information was,
then it would give it away. Yeah. So what is it that you do for a living?
I have one major piece of information which has led me to a certain area, and I'm searching that area intently, and looking for clues within that area. And it's look, I'm willing to share this publicly. Is that there's some public information out there which people just don't have, and wait,
that sounds contradictory to me. There's public information that people don't have. How is it then public?
Yes, Toby, that's exactly right.
So,
at some point, maybe I'll call you back and share it with you.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not ready to share it tonight. But that's a big enough clue for you for this evening.
Yeah.
Which, like literally, if I shared this information with you, I believe it would rock the search community for months, and people would be scammering to a new area.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident of that. Now you're sitting there thinking, and I can't see you on video right now, but you guys are probably sitting there thinking, looking at each other, going, "Oh, I can't believe that. That's not true." And I just want you to remember the look on your faces right now. I'm not saying I can find the treasure because I can't find it. I've gone boots on the ground. I've traveled thousands of miles. I've gone looking and I can't find it. And so you guys are sitting there looking, going, "Oh wow, you're saying there's some information out there which would rock the search community that's public and that no one understands." I'm just telling you there is, because I have it and I know it and I see it and it's physical on a piece of paper.
All right.
I'm not a crazy lunatic.
So let me clarify for us. We are not looking at that way. We take everything that searchers have to say to us very seriously. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to change our direction or our search area, But we think that anyone who's willing to share, as did the gentleman, Gary, Gary, what was his name? Gary Nunn, our friend from Oklahoma. He basically shared his entire solution with the room tonight, and everybody who watches the thousands of viewers that we get on these videos after the live stream is completed. So we take that very seriously, especially when someone says they have information that's unique or important or life-changing or treasure hunt changing, et cetera, et cetera. We're always willing to listen to that.
Okay, good. Well, look, I just encourage people out there to continue to search for information because, there's a lot of talk, right? Yeah. We all know that. There's a lot of talk. And I think what I'm giving people tonight is a very important clue and a very important hint, which is there is information out there, which is definitely not talked about very often, which can give people hints. And look, I think this information is really important. I would say, based on everything I know about the community, that you got all the commentators and YouTube commentators on, they would like drool over it. But who knows? Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm just saying there's a lot of information out there instead of people talking that people could find and research. And, maybe I'll get to the point where I just give up and I share it with you. And I've almost gotten to that point. In fact, it took me like a year to even give you a call.
Yeah.
So I'm getting pretty close. But this is a tough solution. So yeah.
Well, we look forward to the time at which you decide you want to share more information. You can always call here and share it not only with us but with the rest of the community. No, I'm not going to push for it tonight.
I will give you one hint if you have one more moment.
I got one more.
Would you like that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna give you one thing. I'm gonna give the search community one thing which I find important. And I just have to pull out my book here.
All right.
To find it. So I'm gonna give the search community one thing.
And this is from the Thrill of the Chase?
Yeah, from the Thrill of the Chase.
Okay.
I definitely believe that the Thrill of the Chase has basically has all the hints in it.
Yeah.
Itself. So I'm just pulling it up so I get the exact quote for you.
Okay.
Just one moment. I should have had it ready for you.
Well, you didn't know. It sounds like you weren't planning to share much more than what your first comment, which was, "I have some information." But
I had some free time tonight. My family was out of town, so I decided to call. Okay. What page is the quote on where it says hints to all the Indiana Jones types out there? What page is that?
Oh gosh, you're asking a guy who can't remember all the lines in the poem, much less where the pages are.
Okay, here we go. So on page 63, excuse me. And I'll tell you this: there's a bunch of people out there who say page numbers matter. Yeah. I will say unequivocally, I would say the page numbers don't matter.
Yeah.
And I would say that because obviously the book on the draft book online has different page numbers than the actual book, so that's kind of conclusive evidence to me that the page numbers don't matter. But on page 63 in the hard copy book that I have, it says that anyone who's looking for Lewis and Clark might be fun. The first bullet point is that hunger is both unrelenting and unreasonable. And I would just tell you that I think that's a very big hint.
Hunger is unrelenting and unreasonable, and that's based on Fenn's.
Hunger is both unrelenting and unreasonable.
Right. Okay. So you feel like that is one of the hints or aberrations around the edge?
No, it's not an aberration. There are other aberrations. That's not an aberration.
Yeah.
That's just a very big hint. Everything in this book, right? Every chapter is a hint, right? You have to realize that, right? Everything that he writes, every sentence is not true, in my opinion. Every sentence is, every sentence is about him either hiding the treasure, about getting the treasure, about his relationships, about it all has subliminal meaning. Absolutely, I'm convinced everything. War for me, you can read it as him going in and hiding the treasure chest. Okay, you have to read everything in here as subliminal meaning. This line, I'm just giving everyone a big hint tonight. In my opinion, hunger is both unrelenting and unreasonable. Is a big hint. And
you know what?
I would like. If you tell me what you think that hint is. And
I've never even thought of it before, so I don't have a response for you. But let me do this. There's lots of people in the room that have some ideas about what you're saying, especially with this particular hint. So we've been on now for about 15 minutes, which is plenty of time. So let's go on to somebody else for right now. Are you still there?
Yeah, hello?
All right, so let's do this. Let's go on. I've got a bunch of callers holding. They want to talk about this same subject. So let's go on to a couple of callers. I appreciate you taking the steps that you did tonight, including your first idea that there's much information that we're not taking advantage, and the detail of this one line in the Lewis and Clark chapter. So I appreciate that. And you are welcome to call back. It sounds like you've put a lot of thought into this. And you're welcome to call back anytime.
Well, you tell me, I'll listen to your shows. I'll definitely call back. But you tell me that one line, you tell me what area of the country that points you to. And I look forward to your thoughts. And I'll listen to your shows and I'll listen. But if other people have thoughts about what area of the country that points you to, it says clearly, if you're looking for Lewis and Clark, that's the first hint.
Got it.
So it clearly points people to a certain time in history and certain things. And so I look forward to your thoughts online. And thank you for your time. I love your show, guys. And hopefully someone finds this treasure because it would be great.
I agree with you. Thanks for calling in, and we look forward to another call from you in the future.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, so what do you guys think about the Lewis and Clark thing? What area of the country? I mean, obviously, you're not going to find Lewis and Clark references to Lewis and Clark in New Mexico. I'm not even sure that you can find Lewis and Clark in Colorado.
The Park and Taos?
No, that's Kit Carson.
Oh, Kit Carson. Never mind. Get confused. Taos? Is that Spanish?
No, that is not Spanish. Nice try there. It's north of Santa Fe.
Santa Fe? Is that Spanish? Say the whole name of Santa Fe.
The entire name of Santa Fe is Villarreal de San Francisco de Assisi del Santa Fe.
There you go.
The royal city of St. Francis of Assisi.
St. Francis.
Of the Holy Faith, and that's why the cathedral in Santa Fe is called the St. Francis.
St. Francis
Actually,
Cathedral.
It's a basilica now.
Basilica.
Which is Italian.
And thank you, Odin and William, for your super chat. And
did you get
William twice?
Did you get Brit Chaser to Angelos?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes, we did that. And the Sassy for your $2.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Or
wow.
hanging up. She wanted you to hang up.
Hang up. You guys don't have to pay us a hand. I just like listening to people and hearing what they have to say in their thinking process. And block his phone. I'm not going to block his phone number. We're going to hear from him again.
You guys felt the same way about George at first.
Yeah,
and then you fell in love with him.
And then you fell in love
with George. And then it was all hashtag we are George.
Yeah.
So,
What was his name?
Give him a chance.
What was the gentleman that just...
I don't
Did
remember.
he share his name? I asked him his name, and he didn't. No, he didn't. I don't think he gave it to us.
Oh.
He just said he was calling from New York City,
Oh,
Times Square, no less.
that's right.
That's
the
not-
guy from New
that's-
York.
That's not.
Just
That's
call him
not
New York.
cheap property there. Okay, phone lines
Oh,
are
and
open.
Brian Ulrich is in the room, and he's from New Jersey.
New Jersey. Oh, Brian. Samantha's dad.
What?
Samantha's dad.
Yeah.
Hey, you've reached Toby and Shelley. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your observation on the search?
Hey, Toby, this is William. I'm calling from Texas.
Hey, William. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well. How are you tonight?
We're doing very well. Thank you.
Super.
Awesome. It's kind of funny I'm calling you guys because my first rule about a year ago was to not look at any blogs or forums or anything like that when I was doing this. But after being this for a whole year, and going a long distance, I've been to New Mexico 7 times.
Oof.
Wow.
Now, and yeah, it's been a great adventure. It's been the most fun I've ever had in my whole life, pretty much. But anyway, I think I have a little bit of a different viewpoint on the treasure hunt than a lot of people probably. And I'm not cocky about it. I've been wrong 7 times. So anyway, but every time I've gone, it's gotten me further. But I don't think that it's a very close. Like, in other words, I don't think from where one water is hauled is very close to where the treasure is. So, because just looking at the things that Fenn has said about marrying the words in the poem to the map, and even if you have old maps or good maps or however you want to look at it, it's hard to find maps that are very tight in a close proximity with words that have meaning. So anyhow, after studying the book for a long time, and really, I've probably got 300 something hours in this thing in a year as far as work goes, but it's been a lot of fun. And I found a map in the book, and that was very interesting.
Other than the maps that are in the book, you found another map?
Yes, sir. There's another map in the book.
Wow.
Certainly, for sure. And I know that's very interesting. And I'm not calling to toot my horn. It's what it is I've come to the end, and I think a lot of people have come to this, and so you get to drawing lines like he said to do, where he said in an interview, and I'm not sure where the interview is, but so when you find the locations, whoever can make the lines intersect at the right location is who will have the treasure, right?
Right.
So when you get to drawing lines on my map, it makes a perfect asterisk, and that's very interesting also. But I've been out there to the asterisk, and it's just not finny, and it's not the right location. There's no pine trees. It's pretty much scrub oak, and it's in a spot that's not very attractive. And I knew right away whenever I got there it wasn't going to be there, but I had to go just 'cause. But anyway, I know. I mean, what I'm saying in the book, there's a huge aberration to the home ground in the book, and that's what got this started for me, was that one. And it's a big one, and it's pretty clear. And then for the blaze, you have to be wise to find the blaze. And I think I know what he means when he says you can't take a radio of it because it doesn't face any direction. But anyway, well, I guess what I was wanting to ask mostly is what you thought about. How I know you've been adamant about searching, and you work very hard. And I've listened to you, and you guys are very, very kind to people, and you're very tolerable towards people's dreams and the things they think, and I think that's really awesome. Because obviously you've been in the woods, quite a bit, and so when this is all over with, and you get everything put together, I happen to think that the treasure chest doesn't touch the blaze. I don't think it does. I don't think it's possible. I think that we're reading that wrong. As hunters, but I know that I'm probably not in the mainstream there, but I actually probably have never opened up a forum or read other people's views, because of my opinion is that if there was experts in this field, they would have the treasure. So I've kind of tried to allow myself to just go with what the poem says, and I found quite a few clues below the blaze and below Peace. So, and I'm at the point now where I've gotten to where it's getting on private property, and that's pretty concerning. I have not been on private property. I'm not going to go, because I respect people's property, but at this point, it's hard to figure how to get these lines to intersect at the right place. You know what I mean? Because I think that the 9 clues are actually 9 sentences. I think he's being tricky there.
Wait, I'm sorry. The 9 clues. The 9 clues are 9. What did you say?
9 sentences. I don't think that he was being. I think that when he says that, I think he's trying to ward off questions in that sense, which is smart, because he did this. He put so much effort into this to buy the treasure, to have the foresight, and to work at the poem, and to make it hard enough to where it was this way, and to hide it in a special place, to go through all this trouble. I don't think it's fair that people can have bombarded him with all kind of questions about clues, because I just feel like he just do the work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I don't think, I don't know how to put it. It's not that I would say don't ask him anything, but I just feel like when he says the 9 clues, that there's 9 clues, I think that he's really referring to 9 sentences. I think there's so much poem after the blaze and after Go in Peace that is very, very like he references that the poem. Like, for instance, I'll give you part of what I'm talking about. Is like, for instance, he says, "I've done it tired and now I'm weak." Well, in the book, that's making a huge reference to a whole chapter in the book that's very important, in my opinion. All the chapters are important, but there's just so much down there below that it's hard for me to believe that it's just 9 places. Because if you look above the blaze, when he says after the home of Brown, and he says from there, it's no place for the meek. So he's referencing like the trail. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a location, because a trail, even though you might have a trailhead, it's a path. It's not a location. So it's not so if you count that as a clue, it's hard for me to, when you're looking at it like a road map, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to get to is drawing lines between locations. Have you ever run up on him talking about that in any other way? Other than maybe in that one interview where he said that. That's the only place I could find him saying that. Have you heard that very much before? Is there anything you can think of that would help me on finishing this thing off for myself? As far as having your locations laid out, plotted, and then going from there.
So here's what I can tell you, or here's what I can. I don't want to say it's advice. Here's what I think. I think that that in the poem he gives us a starting point, a direction, a distance, another point, a direction, a distance, another waypoint. So I don't know necessarily that they intersect, but I think that what he's trying to tell us is what anyone who is trying to get you from one place to another would be telling you. But I want to go back to something you said right at the beginning of this conversation, and we only have a few minutes left. But maybe you can tell me a little bit about your thinking. You said something like and I'm just paraphrasing. It may not be your exact words, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
You said, think you said, the treasure is not at the blaze. Is that what you said?
I don't believe it is, and there's a couple of reasons why I don't believe it is. Because I found. And, it's just on what I found. So, I don't really think it's healthy to go think, well, I found this and I found that. Well, a lot of people find a lot of things, and they're not wrong, but in other words, when you get to the blaze, the only way to know you get to the blaze is because you figured out what wise was. You understand what I'm saying? And the wise is what carries you to the next clue. It gives you the way to find your quest to see.
All right. Let me.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Let me ask another question. If
Yes, sir.
if the blaze, so if you do not believe that the treasure and the blaze are associated with one another, how far is the treasure from the blaze, in your opinion?
Well, and the last place I went, and you're probably gonna laugh, but about 7.5 miles from the blaze.
So
about 7.5 miles.
What is the point then?
I really just.
What is the point then of him telling us to look quickly down? If you've been wise and found the blaze.
Look quickly down is actually a location.
Oh, I see.
And
okay.
that's what has to do with the map that's in the book. When you see the map that's in the book, you understand what location that look quickly down is. It's actually a spot on the map. And
Okay.
look quickly down means something. So it's not. It's in other words, in the second book, whenever he says that in the back when he gives the map and it cuts out Canada and Utah and the rest, and he says that for the one who knows, he'll go. It'll be. It's hard for me. I'm just paraphrasing, but if you don't know where it is before, your path's going to be not straight, right? And then for the one who knows the location ahead of time, you go right to it, right? Mm-hmm. So essentially, he gives me the feeling like he's saying you can find the locations on the map at your kitchen table.
All right. So okay. I get that. So let me. I'm just trying to get you because you're giving me a lot of information here, but there's some basic things that I need to know. So from the beginning of the poem to the end, regardless of what you think the clues are, right? From the beginning of the poem, where you start, wherever you choose to start, whether it's the first sentence to the end of the poem, what's the distance in miles between the beginning of the poem and the end of the poem, whatever you believe that to be, in your opinion?
Okay, so yes, sir, I can tell you that, and that's as the crow flies. In other words, not following each location. Mm-hmm. If you follow each location, it's going to be 100-something miles, but it takes you across some forests and some different things. But it's all in the same general area. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But as the crow flies, it's about the furthest thing from it is the home of Brown, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And that'd be right at 50 miles. All right. But and that's. What's crazy is it's hard for me not to take hold of what I've found. Essentially because I have an asterisk that's literally one line is 36 miles long and another one is 35 miles long, and it makes a perfect. I mean, I'm talking about they intersect at the exact same spot, and there's 6 lines that do that, just like his asterisk in the book. It's pretty impressive. But and when I first found that, I literally drove to New Mexico the next day.
You're searching in New Mexico? You're searching in New Mexico?
Yes, sir. It's in New Mexico. Right. I really feel like it's in New Mexico for a couple reasons, and it's just pretty simple. There's a way that I'm finding these locations that I think is attached to what he's talking about when he says that there's one piece of information that people haven't looked at that keeps them from finding it. And I'm not saying I'm right. I hate to say it like that because it sounds like I think I'm right. Yeah. And I'm not trying to sell it. It's about words. Yeah. I don't think it's about action. I don't think in other words, I know the blaze for when I first started searching before I bought the book and I was just read the poem. I just saw it on TV and I thought I'd check it out. Yeah. Bring the kids, take a look, Well, the blaze, I kind of have a bunch of horses. Obviously, a blaze is a strap on a horse's face, and it could be multiple other things. So that's the first thing that comes to mind, right? Right. But I disagree with that now. I think it's about words. I don't think it's about physical, the physical nature of things. Some of the clues are, but not very many of them. I actually think it's more about words. That's why he goes around asking people if they know what the definition of several is. Right. And that's
he got me that definition at Moby Dickens. He got me good. All right, William. Well, thank you very much for calling in and sharing your thoughts on the matter. That's what we like from people when they call in and share their thinking on the matter, because sooner or later somebody's going to pick up on something you said, and something that the gentleman from New York said, and they're going to start putting things together. So thanks for that.
Yeah, man. I think you guys do great, man. I mean, I appreciate y'all effort. I really do. And it's interesting. It's good to talk to somebody that's into the chase, and I appreciate it.
All right, it's our pleasure, and thanks for calling in. We look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you, sir. See you.
Have a good evening.
Here's a nice comment from Odin for you.
What does he say?
Seriously, though, casual Toby is one sexy... Can picture him sitting at a roulette table in Monaco and just placing everything in
on 12. Yeah. Well, thank you, Odin. I noticed Odin is paying in euros. Is he in Ireland?
He's in Cork County in Ireland.
Yeah, that's why he's paying in euros.
That's right.
Because they're not Brexit.
And he recognizes, Carney.
That Irish name. Yeah. The good one. Did we help? Did you give directions to Brit Chaser? Did I ask you that?
He knows.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm off to get some Ed Sullivan pizza. All right, guys, the phone lines are off. If you want, you're welcome to send us a text message at that number or leave a voicemail so that we can pick up on it Wednesday night. We've had some really interesting calls tonight, and you can agree or disagree with anybody that what they have to say about it, but each of us feels kind of I think I can relate in the sense that I know I feel as confident about my theory as they feel about theirs. And it always interests me that they're, when I want to tell people about my theory, I can explain the heck out of it. And that's what I feel like folks are doing, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate the calls, and I know some of them go a little long, but again, one of the reasons we have this show is because Shelley and I talk about this all the time. We feel that one of the outlets that we provide is when people can call in and talk about their solution and do it in a way that they feel comfortable with it, because I'm sure that it's hard. I mean, I don't find it's hard for me to talk to my children, who I love deeply and who I know love me, about the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt. They have no interest in it whatsoever, and it's not like they diss me. They don't tell me to shut up, but you can tell just by the glaze that forms over their eyes that this is not something that they want necessarily to talk about. So that's why I like listening to these folks. And one of these days, one of them is going to say something that's going to set off some neurons in my brain, and it'll help me get to a better solution. That's how, baby. Did you see how I said that without even moving my lips? And
yeah, I heard that. So thank you so much for being here tonight, for all your great questions, comments, phone calls, and super chat. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you again on Hump Day Hoedown on Wednesday. And for Friday Fenndango at Gypsy Kiss, I'm Shelley Carney.
So we'll see you, Shelley and I will see you on Wednesday night for Hump Day, as she said, Hump Day Hoedown. Shelley's going to be traveling on Friday night.
Next Friday.
And so I'm going to be Zooming in man alone, Brad. He has some thoughts that he's going to share. We don't have to, I don't know what happened to Restream IO, but I'm going to have to test that. So, by the way, if you see me testing all this stuff this weekend, that's just me testing it, making sure that we can get this stuff done. Dang. I don't know. There's only so many times.
The music?
It stopped. We went to 60 seconds.
Oh.
I don't know how many times I can blame this on Microsoft and Windows updates, but I think I've run out of that
Cheers
as an excuse.
To you, Odin. Thank you for the super chat and for all the drinks that you bought me. I was always a fan of a man buying me drinks. But, I got married when I was 20, so I didn't really get to experience other men buying me drinks other than my husband. And occasionally Toby. Well, but I didn't meet you till like 7 years ago, so... I had to go a really long stretch without men buying me drinks.
Well, I guess I'll just have to make up for that.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. So thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. And we'll see you next Wednesday. We'll see you on Tuesday night with the softer side. Why don't you mention that?
Bam! Brilliant Advisory Monthly Mastermind. If you have not yet signed up, make sure you take my short little survey, answer that question, and give me your email, and I will invite you to the mastermind. Our first one is Tuesday evening, and we're going to get together on Zoom and have sexy casual Toby. We're going to have a good time Tuesday. So check out The Softer Side, thesofterside.live. Look at the description box on any of the videos in the last couple of weeks, and you can find the link to that survey. Take it.
I'm starting my music again.
I will invite you on Tuesday.
All right.
La, 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 la.
La, la, la. So thanks for joining us tonight. We will see you with Update Hoedown on Wednesday.
Bye.
And with Brad Manalone on Friday. We're going to be zooming him in, okay? Thanks for joining us tonight. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for the Zoom. Thank you for the Super Chat. And thank you to our moderators, Hooli, ES, Toby Fan 3000, and all the other folks that help us put on this show. Thanks again, guys. We just love it. You ready?
Don't forget the thumbs up on the video. We worked
Like.
really hard to get up here tonight.
Yeah. All right, go.